Well, guys, the first transfer portal visitor is set to hit Manhattan on Monday, and it is a big-time player to discuss, and I am pumped to do so in today's video. Before I get into things today, let me hit you with a quick reminder. Hit that subscribe button. It helps out immensely as we continue to grow this channel. You boys covering the transfer portal as much as I can, so be sure to hit that sub button because it helps out immensely, and that way you won't miss a single one of these videos. But guys, like I said, the first transfer portal visitor is officially upon us. That player is Omaha star wing Marquel Sutton, a big-time player to know. Played in the Midwest, made the NCAA tournament at Omaha this season, and was named the Summit League Player of the Year. Obviously, the Summit League Player of the Year is a title that's become synonymous with D1 talent jumping over to that level. Obviously, the last couple of years to read the list. Like I said, Marquel Sutton at Omaha this past year. I'll read you his stats, his size, etc., etc. You had Zeke Mayo at South Dakota State. You had Max Asmus at Oral Roberts. Obviously, you had Baylor Shireman for South Dakota State. And prior, you had a couple of big-name players as well. But to say the least, the Summit League Player of the Year has jumped over to D1 basketball and had a pretty good time hitting the ground running, to say the least. For Kansas State, this is massive. Marquel Sutton's a big-time player at the 4. This past season for Omaha, he averaged 18.9 points. That is the 40th most points in the country of any player in D1 basketball. 7.9 rebounds per game. That's 67th in the country, alongside 1.2 assists per game on 47.9% shooting from the field. Now, people are going to be nerds and look at his three-point shooting and say, well, this kid can't shoot the three ball. We don't need him. He's a bad fit. Shut up, first of all. Second of all, he cashes in 27.7% from three. Yeah, that's not crazy, but you get to 30%, that's already respectable enough that people are going to close out on the kid. If you watched his game, you'll love his game. Played 35 games, averaged 32.4 minutes per game. Also shot 73.9% from the free throw line, which, no, not incredible, but significant upgrades above the two forwards we had this past season. Marquel Sutton is a big-time player to know. Now, Kansas State, you got to respect the hustle because they were one of the first teams to reach out to Sutton and say, okay, we want you on campus. We want you in our back pocket. This is the dude we want around. And then right after that, you had 2 or 3 other teams that reached out that were fine competitors. I mean, a couple different big-name programs. Then the floodgate opened, and everybody hit the kid up. Let me read you some teams that have reached out alongside Kansas State. You had Kansas, Miami, Ohio State, Utah, Xavier, Texas, Notre Dame, LSU, Mississippi State, Baylor, Clemson, Missouri, Washington, and Iowa. The kid is a big deal, to say the least, and is hitting Manhattan, Kansas on Monday. This is a big-time thing for Kansas State. Now, I said I'd read his size. Should have done that already. Stands 6'8", 217 pounds. Very, very similar to an Arthur Kaluma-type build. I think Art was 220, 6'8", or 6'7", one of the cases is. Marquel Sutton can play the game of basketball at a high, high level for Kansas State. For a team like us where we need to address multiple starting positions in the transfer portal, this would be such a home run start to the full transfer portal cycle as a whole. And this season specifically, this is why I have more optimism than I have in the past in terms of who's going to commit on campus, who's going to do this. In the past, a visit has meant like, okay, there's a kid there. Will he commit? Will he not? We'll see. You have to wait 2 or 3 weeks as he bounces around other places. That's not the way it goes as much anymore this transfer portal cycle. Dudes are committing fast. A lot of people say it's because of the revenue sharing aspect of college basketball, where more players aren't hitting the portal and more players are getting to the portal and getting paid more money. This season, that's just the way it goes. Getting a kid on campus has such a higher percentage of getting the commitment than it has in years prior, where it's been kind of check it out, we'll see what happens. I want to address this, I want to try this and this and this. Marquel Sutton going to Kansas State first is a massive thing to watch, and I've talked about it already. If you haven't already seen him, I've tossed up highlights on the screen. I'll toss a couple different things on. The dude flashes on tape. His athleticism is there. He's good backing down people. He's good posting people up. He can create for himself. He can create for other teammates. And having a guy in the front court that can shoot the 3 ball at the 5 is going to be a helpful fit. But regardless of the way I look at this, because some people sit here and say, well, he doesn't stretch the court enough for my liking, we can't have a quick break. If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed, 63% of the people watching this video right now are currently not subscribed to the YouTube channel. And feel free absolutely to ignore this and skip this, whatever the case is. But those of you that are watching right now and are unsubscribed, be sure and consider hitting that subscribe button if you love Kansas State, if you appreciate the channel. It's a great way to support me as I continue to grow on this journey, and it's also incredible to bring more K-State fans in like yourself on a consistent basis to see more of my K-State content. Once again, if you're in that 63% or if you're in the alternative in the 37%, I love and appreciate you. Back to the Cats. Jerome Tang always encourages his forwards to shoot the ball. You've heard it twice now with both Coleman Hawkins and Arthur Kaluma. Tang saying, hey, I'm trying to get these guys to shoot the 3 ball more. They need to shoot it more. They're good shooters when they get in rhythm. They need to shoot the shots more. Marquel Sutton, I would not be surprised if that's the case. That being said, he's going to be a mismatch for just about every team in the league. You get a shot at the Summit League Player of the Year who's on an NCAA tournament team and has played 99 games over the past 3 seasons. you could do a lot worse, to say the least. Marquel Sutton would be a massive add and a huge win. As of right now, talking about the transfer portal and where he sits, for 24/7 Sports, they have him listed as a consensus 4-star, a 94% or 94 rank, I guess I should say. The 31st best player overall in the transfer portal and the 5th best player at his position at power forward. Now for On3, because it's important to note where he stands in that front, they're a little bit lower on him, but still very, very high on other players, so it's kind of a hit or miss thing. But they've got him as a 4-star as well, number 56 in the country and number 16. I'm more of a 24/7 Sports guy, always have been, always will. But they just do a great job either way. It's a big-time thing. So we talked about Kansas State in a recruiting piece from Jamie Shaw on On3, and he basically said, he posted a bunch of updates on where everybody's looking. Sutton earned Summit League Player of the Year honors this season after averaging 18.9 points and 7.9 rebounds. He led Omaha to an NCAA tournament berth as a 15 seed after finishing 13-3 in league play. Originally from Tulsa, Oklahoma, there's the Midwest tie. Once he hit the portal on Wednesday, he had programs in contact. Speaking with Sutton, he said some of the first schools to reach out to him were Kansas State, Oklahoma State, USC, and Ole Miss. There's still a bit of time with this one, so pay attention to how things progress. He's also going to go through the NBA draft process because he is that talented of a player, so I expect him to do that where, you see your options. It wouldn't surprise me to see him commit to Kansas State, still go through the NBA draft process, and then come out last minute. Or if he goes to the NBA, it's a different thing. But usually if a kid's going to commit somewhere in college basketball, he's planning to come back. But guys, Marquel Sutton is a massive name to know, would be a home run addition to start the portal off right and get an absolute dog in the front court, someone that can impose his will and be an NBA forward for Jerome Tang, something we haven't had consistently, but a guy that would be a massive upgrade for this team and someone that could hold it down at that 4 spot. He is super duper talented, super athletic. The highlights speak for themselves. Marquel Sutton is an absolute ball player, and I would love to have him in Manhattan. But guys, I'll keep you updated on the visit when it comes to fruition. This is starting up on Monday. That is the 31st, I believe, of March, right? Going into April 1st, so I imagine maybe a 48-hour visit. Hopefully the Cats get the job done and they start things off right. But I'll talk to you all soon, guys. Appreciate all the love and support on the channel. Have a great day, and go Cats.